Hi friends, welcome back to Black Cat Folk Magic. All kind people are welcome here. Thank you for your patience. I know that I haven't posted in about a week. Things have been so busy for me lately, just in all really good ways. It's, one door opening after another, and it's just been wonderful, and I wanted to take time to enjoy that. So thank you for your patience for the reading. So today we're gonna hop into our weekly reading to see what's coming up for us this week. And as always, I have 3 groups to choose from. I have group 1 with the Everyday Witch Tarot and the Fire Agate. We have group 2 with the Wandering Star Tarot and the Amethyst. And we have group 3 with the Folklore Tarot and the Dalmatian Jasper. All right, choose which one resonates the most with you. And as always, the timestamps are down in the description. Okay, see you in your reading. Hey there, group 1. You chose this Fire Agate and you chose the Everyday Witch Tarot. Let's get into your reading and see what's coming in for you this week. Now, keep in mind, this is a collective reading. Just take what resonates. Leave what doesn't. Okay. We have the Hermit. We have the Queen of Wands. That's my favorite card. We have the Five of Swords. Okay. We have the Fool. And we have the Four of Wands. Great. All right. So group 1, I'm hearing, the first thing I heard was licking your wounds. So maybe something happened that disappointed you greatly and maybe shook up your confidence in yourself. Okay. And so maybe you've been taking a step back. Maybe you've been taking some time to process this failure or disappointment. Licking your wounds, feeling a little sorry for yourself, all that stuff. Feeling your feelings, all that good stuff. Because I feel like this disappointment really cut to your quick. I feel like it really undermined your self-confidence. You were feeling pretty good and on top of the world before this happened. And when this happened, it caused you so much embarrassment or self-doubt that it really shook you up. You kind of, were even thinking, I need to leave this situation altogether? And Spirit is saying, all right, you've had your time. You've had your time to get your feet out, feet under you. Yeah, your feet under you, to get your footing is what I'm trying to say. And so it's time for you to try again, okay? Failure is not the end. Failure is not bad. Failure is how we learn. It means you tried, right? We've really got to stop thinking of failure as a bad thing. It's just a lesson, a new way to do things. But I do show with this Four of Wands that you will be successful this time. You will be celebrating this time. But Spirit is saying this week, take the first steps. Take that first leap of faith to try this again. Get you some more cards. We have the King of Wands with the Queen of Wands. That's a divine pair here. But that also is telling me that some things are aligning for you that weren't aligned before. And I think, you had to go through this disappointment to get there. There was just something that you couldn't see until you had this disappointment to teach you something. We have the Chariot here. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. We have the Nine of Swords. Okay, the longer you sit in this rumination and self-pitying and this era of hardship, the longer it's going to last. Spirit says it's up to you. It's up to you how long you let this era of disappointment last. You can recognize it for what it is, as a lesson, as a way to make you better at what you're doing, as a way of reaching mastery. And you can claim that right this second and move on from this feeling of disappointment. Or you can just swallow around in it a while. But Spirit is saying this week is a really good week to take some steps to try again. The one thing that Spirit does caution is don't try to do everything at once. All right? Take some time. Take some very measured movements. There's no need to rush anything, okay? But movement is necessary. So start with the first thing first, and just take that first step this week. Because this time you are going to be successful because you're more in alignment. All right, well, I hope this helped you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Hey there, Group 2. You chose the Wandering Star Tarot and the Amethyst. Well, let's get into your reading. See what's coming in this week. What your advice is this week. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Two of Cups. We have the High Priestess. We have the Two of Wands. We have the King of Swords. Okay, so somebody disappointed you, or you disappointed someone in some sort of interpersonal relationship. There's been a letdown, right? Maybe you feel a little betrayed. I don't see it as like a huge betrayal or anything like this, but it may have been just one disappointment too many for you. Enough to make you think, all right, I might need to move on from this relationship, this friendship, this job, whatever it is. But the important thing is it got you thinking. And it got you thinking about your dreams and who you are, independent of the influences of others, okay? And it got you thinking about your path, the paths you take, the choices you make, and wondering if you're making the best choices for yourself, or if you're always in the back of your mind considering people when you're making those decisions that maybe shouldn't have that much room in your heart, okay? So let's see what else it says. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is very specific, so it's not for everyone. It's probably for a person watching this. But for some of you, there may have been a job offer for you and you decided not to take it, or you were thinking maybe you wouldn't take it even though it's a wonderful offer because it might disappoint somebody that you're close to. And Spirit is saying, think really hard about if that person's in your life for the long haul. And I know sometimes it's hard to judge that. Life surprises us. But Spirit is saying, how much are you giving to yourself versus how much are you giving to this other person? And are you willing to sacrifice, the gifts that are coming in for you for this person? Okay, we have Queen of Swords, the Chariot, and the Hierophant. I think it's really important right now that you're using a little more logic, okay? You're not so attached to your emotions. I mean, do not avoid your emotions. That never works. But when you're thinking about this interpersonal relationship this week, and you're thinking about how much you give to it, and start thinking about how much is reciprocated, start thinking about what value added. What's the value added to your life with this relationship? And I'm not saying think of it in a transactional way, but I'm saying make sure things are balanced, okay? Make sure you're getting out what you put in. There are those of us who are givers, and we very easily, it's just in our makeup that we love to give. And that's a wonderful thing, except there are people who love to take, right? And they're not really concerned about giving back. They're not really concerned about balancing the scales. And so when you're thinking about this relationship and what it might cost you, I think it's very important to use logic. It's very important to suss things out and not just go with, oh, but they've been in my life for so long, or it's dangerous to make this decision purely on emotion, because you might cheat yourself. Okay? I do think that once you give it a thought about, what about me? What do I get? I think once you start thinking that way this week, I think you're going to start eyeing, your own personal progress more. You're going to think more about your own success. And you're going to think about being your own hero. Instead of loving someone else so much that they want to come in and love you and save you, why don't you just cut out the middleman and love yourself? Be your own power. And I think, this week will begin a process where you start becoming your own teacher, where you start becoming your own best friend, where you start becoming your own advocate, and you stop worrying so much about other people loving you, and you provide that for yourself. Okay, well, I hope this helped you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Hey there, Group 3. You chose the Folklore Tarot and this Dalmatian Jasper. And let's get into it and see what this week is bringing in for you. See what your advice is for this week. We have the Tower. Don't click away yet. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Devil. Okay, Group 3. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And we have the Seven of Cups. This reminds me a lot of Group 2. It's not exactly the same, but it reminds me of that. I feel like something really surprised you recently. Really caught you off guard. Don't feel like it was necessarily a pleasant experience. But Spirit wants you to know that the worst part is over. It's important that you know that this wasn't random, that this is a very important part of a transformation that you're going through. And I think you're going to remember this week for a long time. Don't be afraid at all. This is something that's going to set you on a better course for the rest of your life, this transformation. But Spirit has a warning to not be tempted to stay somewhere just because it's comfortable, just because it's the devil you know. And don't be tempted to not move along on your journey because you can't see the path yet and you're worried about what's up there. Have some faith here, okay? Spirit wants you to know that you are capable of bringing yourself all the abundance that you need, of everything you need. And I think maybe some of you are feeling like, oh no, if I make a misstep or if something goes wrong, who am I going to reach out to? Who am I going to, who's going to help me? And Spirit is saying, we're not meant to be solitary creatures. We're meant to help each other out. But in whatever this changes you're going through, know that you have the power to help yourself. Know that you have the power to pull yourself out of any situation that seems unfavorable or challenging at the time. One thing is, I think for a lot of you in this group, you're feeling the draw to make a change, to choose a new path, but it's not clear to you where you should go, and so it's analysis paralysis. You're just having a really hard time moving forward. We have the King of Swords. We have the King of Wands, my goodness. We have the Empress. Fascinating. And we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. So, we're talking about some swift movement here. We're talking about it's time to, the visual I'm getting in my head is, a hot air balloon, and I don't know if this happened in a movie, was it Wizard of Oz or something, and someone cut the rope and it went flying away. It's kind of time to cut your tether, to see where you're capable of going. I think that you are starting to become discontented with the limits that you've imposed upon yourself, and you're ready to see what's out there, and it's time to check it out. It's time to explore those possibilities. I think that Spirit wants to reassure you that this will lead you to abundance. This will lead you, if it's not financial abundance, this will leave you feeling more content. You'll be closer to self-actualization. You'll be headed in the right direction. But the important thing is to, this week, think about what ties you can cut. Think about what is holding you back, that maybe maybe doesn't deserve that sort of power over you. It's time to move on. You hear Howie? He's saying, move on. Get the lead out. Let's cut old attachments that no longer serve us. And so that's what we should be focused on this week. All right, well, I hope this helped you, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Take care.